All right.
We get to play tonight.
Kind of.
I know.
I know. I think Lori has her bags full.
Mary Poppins.
She's definitely the Mary Poppins. She's typical lady with the big bag, stuffed everything in there.
Okay.
And
you're a guy with like minimum to nothing.
Yes. So what's in your toolbox? That's our topic for today. And feel free to share if there are things that you guys love out there. We're open to tips. I think when Lori and I go out and do trainings, and that's why I think we love going out there, going to different clinics, we pick up little tips and tricks that they have on how to maybe make the patient feel a little bit better, or just how to anything and everything. So honestly, this is just little things that we love, that we definitely can't kind of live without.
Yeah.
So I'll let you go first.
I love, if you guys know me at all, I love little gadgets that make my life easier or more efficient or make things safer. So I want me to do the first one. I'll grab out of my bag of tricks. I'll go over here and grab out of my bag of tricks. Okay. So the first one I'm going to grab, I'll grab this. The first one I'm going to grab is a pulse oximeter. Well, didn't really think about this until COVID hit. And then I had it in my drawer. I left it in my drawer. This, along with, I always have a blood pressure cuff in all of my injectable. Why? Vasovagals. They happen all the time. So what I found was I happened to have my pulse oximeter in it, and when somebody would start to vasovagal, I just slap this right on their finger, and I can get their pulse right away. So I can start documenting their pulse right away while my medical assistant's getting the blood pressure cuff on, and we're putting them flat and kind of making sure the blood gets back to their brain. So this has been a really nice little thing to help me just document pulse. And so I know they're breathing, so saturation is not a big deal. But chart their mentation, skin vitals, and blood pressure. So that's been something that I just kept in the drawer, and I've used it to get me a quick pulse on them because I know they're bradycardic, because that's why they're vasovagal. So yeah. Okay, your turn.
My turn? Oh, what do I need? What do I want?
And you guys start thinking about what you have in your toolbox that might be interesting, because we're going to watch you
really
type
don't
stuff
have
in.
Anything.
Yes, you do.
Mines are boring. I mean, honestly, my favorite things that I can't live without are probably my needles. These are the needles that I love to use. And if you've met me or trained with me or watched some of the videos, I hate the needles that come in the packages. I think they don't do enough. Half inch barely gets into the tissue. So I think how long ago? Years and years and years and years ago, probably at least 10, 12, 15 years ago, I switched to using longer needles. So my favorite one, 25 gauge 1-inch ones. And then for me, because I have a big ass thumb right here.
A very large thenar
big
eminence.
Thenar eminence. 28 3/4 inch. I love the fact that I can use the needles kind of almost like a cannula because they're longer. It gives me more flexibility to create the artistry that I need. And, make sure that you guys, if you guys play with needles, I know I hear a lot of times, oh, it's so hard to push out. Well, if it's hard to push out, get a bigger needle gauge. I don't understand.
I can't push it out of a 30. We'll get a 27.
It's like, get a bigger one. And I get it. When I first got started, you're like, oh my God, you're going to 27. Oh, you're going to 25. I mean, yes, the 25 is bigger than the 29 or 30 gauge needle, but it's not that much bigger. And I think as you get good with injecting, I practically don't bruise my patients even with using these. And I do use these even underneath the eyes, and I don't get bruising, or really minimal bruising at that. So I think once you get good at your tools, you really can do a better job. I challenge people, because this is kind of like, women will understand this. It's kind of like your makeup brushes. You have different makeup brushes for different parts. And so you should be changing out your needles based off of what you're trying to accomplish for the area. And so to me, I think the 25 gauge for your thicker G primes, like your, I use Lift a lot. So Lift, Define, Contour, Volumas, those thicker ones that are harder to push. 25 1-inch does a beautiful job. The ones that I want to get a little bit more control because I can push very quickly, I'll jump to 28 3/4 inch, and these are going to be a little bit less G prime, a little less thicker type of products. But it's not that I don't use cannulas. I do use cannulas in specific areas, but I almost use my longer needles like a cannula. So this is probably one of the few and only things that I would say need to be in my toolbox if I don't have this. Like when I teach and I have to inject on stage, it pains me because when you're teaching or injecting for some of these companies, you have to follow FDA guidelines, and I don't know why they
This
think
little half-inch
having
needle.
a different needle on the syringe is off-label. That's the reason why you see all of us inject with the little 1/2 inches when we have to do videos or webinars or in live person demonstrations on stage for you guys. It's not my way of doing things. Just FYI, you know, a lot of times, a lot of us that do present on stage, we're restricted by what FDA guidelines are. So sometimes, well, a lot of times, majority of us are teaching things, unfortunately, that we probably don't do as much in our normal practices. We actually do a lot of other different things. And so there are, you know, lots of syringes that we use in other different places. And so we just can't say it out in front of you guys on stage or at these trainings, but you're more than welcome to reach out to us and ask us on your own personal time. All right, so longer needles.
That's important. Okay, what should I put? Okay, this is something that I love, and I found this.
I like that.
I found this. I find so many neat pearls when I go and teach. So I'll go somewhere and train, and somebody at a clinic had this, and this is called a Clave multi-dose vial access spike.
Can zoom in.
Can you see it? It's a multi. Can we zoom on that one? I don't know. Want me to go to the front camera? Oh, there we go.
Oops.
Oh, whoa.
Wow.
Multi-dose vial access spike, okay? And I think...
Oh, it's from ICU Medical.
ICU Medical. So what this is it allows me... I'm going to put it in the vial here. So I can take it out. I take off the little plastic that's here, okay? And that's the little spike. So I'm going to take my bicarb and put the spike in the bicarb. So this allows me, okay, to take a syringe, which I probably gave the syringes away. Do you have, you have a syringe? So now I can take a syringe and just wipe off with alcohol wipe. And when I want to go and to get, say, my bicarb, I can screw my syringe on here and just pull it out, and when I'm done, unscrew it, and it locks, it spring loads right back, and it's all sealed. So you just clean off with the alcohol and pull it out. So you can pull your products out of here really easy.
Saves your life.
Yeah.
Instead of getting an 18 gauge needle every single time and puncturing through it, and then you see all the little gray particles floating in there.
This has been a lifesaver. And then when you're done with the vial, just throw it in your sharps container. So love it. Love it, love it. I can't live without those. I love those things.
Those ones, yes. I will definitely say that.
You use one of my go-tos.
that one I definitely did.
Good.
All right.
You next.
Me next.
This is like show and tell. If you guys have stuff, put it in, type it in, and we'll kind of keep watching.
I like these.
Those are awesome.
I use these plus...
Wait, who gave you that idea?
You did.
Yes, I did.
But I do love them. We give this to our patients here. They are... Yes, they are spiky balls.
Gideon has...
But they're...
They're acupressure balls. Get them on Amazon.
Yeah.
They come in small and big. They have a little magnet. I don't know if those do. They have a magnet that holds them together. So they are very hard.
I know.
And
they're really hard. So after squeezing them for a little bit of time, your patients focus on this and not what you're doing. And so, look at it.
You have
little spikes already.
Spikes in your...
But it is actually a really, really good distractor from your for your patients. And so besides this, vibrators, actually, I know the T vibrators, everyone gets those. I think those are actually not strong enough.
Yeah.
Like they have these little B ones that they use for pediatrics that I think they literally vibrate like no tomorrow. I have at the other clinics. And you can put them on the bone, you can have them hold it somewhere else. But I think something that vibrates much more strongly, I think the T's are fine, but really, really, really getting in there and actually vibrating them really does a much better job. I think Ulthera has one that you can push on that vibrates as well. That's pretty decent.
I have one that I got at a family practice. It was family practice conference, and it is a small device. I push the button, but it's got a piece of plastic that goes in a U, and it's clear, and it lights up. And when you put it on the patient, in the U vibrates. This whole thing vibrates, and you give the injection right into it. So you can kind of do this. It's really cool.
That's kind of cool.
I can't remember the name of it. It's in my drawer, but yeah. Anyway, those are cool.
But anything to distract your patients.
Yeah.
For the most part, if you see, I do a lot of tapping, tap, 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 tap. Not something you want to start off with doing. much more difficult. So focus on injection, understanding all of those things. So ultimately, they spike balls, really cool, really cool.
Okay, Marisha wants to know what's the name of this little spiky thing. It is a clave. The name is CLAVE, multi-dose vial access spike. Multi-dose vial access spike is what that's called.
Yep.
Pretty cool, huh? There you go, Marisha.
Yep. Single dose access.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi from Dallas, Brentney. Ooh, that's pretty. Brentney Blair. Okay. Okay, so thank you, Honolulu Med Spa.
Oh.
2 clinics I went to in Hawaii had those. There. Are you 2 clinics? You'll see. If you go to the same clinic, they'll have. But that's where I found those.
That's
I go,
really cool.
The best ideas ever.
Yeah, they're called acupressure balls if you're looking for them on Amazon.
Another thing that I found at a clinic, a Truve Med Spa in Cleveland.
Those are definitely.
Thank you, Danielle. Yeah, expo markers for the face. Now, when she started marking up patients, I was like, oh my God! and these go on the tissue really nicely, and they wipe. I don't know if I have anything wet to wipe it off with. And they wipe off super easy. This is dry, but they with like your little hypochlorous acid or something. Spit. There you go.
Spit.
It wipes off super easy. So it's not like those eyeliner pencils that you put on and
horrible.
They're
and you're
hard.
Scraping by the time you're done with one side. You're like, you need to sharpen them. Otherwise, if you don't have a sharpener, you're like scraping.
And then you lose the sharpeners. So I started buying the eyeliner pencils on eBay or Amazon that had the sharpener. The caps were the sharpeners. That was a great idea. But these expo markers have been been great.
Useful.
I get them in lots of different colors.
Don't get them in red.
Don't get red. I get fine tip, not the extra fine. The extra fine dries out really quickly. So just the regular fine tip. Mm-hmm. You can see that little fine tip. The extra fine is 2-pointed and they dry out pretty quickly. If you get these onto anything wet, like you've just cleaned the face off, it won't mark. So always have a few of these in hand. I have like a pile in my drawer, and I always mark before I do my injections, like have them frown, mark. Then they don't have to keep reactivating the muscles when they frown or lift their forehead up, and you don't fatigue those muscles. So you're getting, the first couple times, you're getting a really good activity, so you can mark them and then inject them. So that's what I do with these.
Yeah, so
not where you need it.
That is very good. That I love.
Thank you, Danielle at True. I love this. This is like community helps community.
What else? I don't know if I have anything else really. I mean, definitely. I mean, threads. I mean, I can't live without these, which is your little packs.
I have that
forceps. Too. I mean, ultimately,
our little suture removal kits.
So many threads. I know you want a sterile package. You can get ones that actually have a tweezer in there as well. It just gets more expensive. I think they run somewhere for the better ones run up to about $4.50, $5 a package. These can go down as low as $1.50
or something.
$1.50. So I mean, these are great.
Yeah. As
far as that's concerned, I mean, so. I love these because with threads, you literally just, I need to, I don't want to sterilize. I was just like, I don't want to get a sterilizer and then have to work on that and clean. So
throw them away. I get disposable cautery for skin tags and warts, things like that. I don't want to autoclave, so I get a disposable cautery, and that's what I use all of my to take off all my skin tags and such, and I take off the tip and then throw it away. Mm-hmm. So it's not too expensive, and we know it's sterile. That's what I like. All right, my next item. Come close on this. I want you guys to see what size cannulas I love. Can you see that?
23.
23. So 23 gauge is my favorite size cannula. I get this from Benev, the company who makes MirQ threads. So I order both a 40 and a 50 millimeter, so 1.5 and 2 inch long. So we know that a 27 gauge is just as dangerous as a needle. And a 25 can be fairly dangerous. You just have to be super gentle with it. So I went to 23s so that they would be much more, a little safer. I can feel vessels with them easier. The tissue lets me in pretty easy. So we all know a 22 is kind of a garden hose and a 25 is too small. So I figured a 23 would be in between, and it is. It truly is in between. The product flows well from it. It glides through the skin like a 25, but yet it's a little bigger, so it gives me a little bit more safety. But on cannulas, please remember, be gentle, be thoughtful. Let the tissue let you in. Don't ever force it. If it stops you, then back out and just go a little bit of a different direction and let the tissue let you in, which is the safest thing. So I think that from Benev, who makes the MirQ threads, so Benev, who makes our exosomes, the Benev exosomes.
That's what's missing from my box.
Our exosomes are missing.
I know.
And our hypochlorous acid generator.
Oh, yeah. Why are we missing all these things?
Wow, we're forgetting all of it. We have some more stuff, you guys. Go back in somebody will go back in our back storage.
Exosomes and then the hypochlorous maker.
Generator. So anyway, love these. And Dermasculpt just came out with 23 gauges too, I believe. And I think other companies are looking into making more.
Yeah,
so, love
those are cool.
Yeah.
Do they have the other needle? Did they give us the other needle? The other one that's a no waste one? I actually really do love that one.
Oh, the no dead space.
Yes. I don't know if they give it to us.
And while you're back in the storage, you guys.
There's one, it looks like this, but it's a no dead space needle. It's 33 gauge. This one says 20. It's 33 gauge, and it's super tiny. But what they did is they created it so they did not waste any. Let me see.
Here.
Do I have any?
We'll put some bicarb on it.
Oh, let me go see if they have
You're going to leave me alone here with all these people? I can tell them a lot about you.
Hey, they don't want to hear anything about me.
So this is just bicarb I'm pulling up in here. But the low dead space needles, we get those from Airtight. It's a company that I get most of my cannulas and needles from. And these low dead space needles have a smaller hub on them. It's really small, so it doesn't waste any material in the hub. So you get about 100 needles in a for maybe $90 or something. So the box is a little less than $100. But every 100 needles, you are going to save a full vial of your neuromodulator, i.e. Dysport, Xeomin, Botox. So how much does that whole vial cost you? $400, $500, $600, $700. So you're going to save $600. Go ahead and come in. You're just the generator. You're going to save $600 and spend 90 something. So the low dead space needles are amazing. So Gideon's going to bring it in.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. So they can show that close up.
There we go.
Okay, so we'll go close up on that.
Oops.
There you go.
Yeah.
So put it on your black shirt, maybe.
Like, on my black shirt.
I mean, hold it where you're. Okay. So go close on that, guys, and show the little tiny hub. There we go.
There's a little tiny hub. So you literally save a lot of money. For those of us that use a 1cc syringe, you can get the green one that actually has a male end in here as well. Can you hand me that, actually, the 1cc with the green? That one actually saves a lot of money because you're literally, this is one thing, if you concentrate your stuff, if you concentrate it, you really have a lot of waste into this area. And so even if you have a little tiny bit, you could end up costing yourself a lot of money, wasted neurotoxin. I know a lot of people use the insulin syringes. I personally don't like the insulin syringes that much, just because you end up going through a ton of insulin syringes sometimes. So you can see there's going to be less waste because the male hub goes into there. You get no waste, and then you get no waste from here. So in combination, I think you lose very little, like very little
And
toxin.
We get these. I get these from Airtight.
We get them
too.
both from Airtight.
Yeah.
So if you want to reach out to Airtight, AIRTITE. The low dead space needle, as well as the green 1ccs with the male hubs. I think those are the go-tos when I use my toxins, because I don't like insulin syringes that much, because you have to draw it up through the needle itself. I'm not a big fan of that.
And you know what? I think the companies hate diabetics. I don't know. What the heck? Those insulin syringes, we use BD and stuff, they're not that sharp. No. They're not that sharp. And goodness sakes, if you go in there and you happen to touch the needle to the bottle when you're withdrawing, like I tell my medical assistant, don't touch the needle in the bottle.
Right?
Because it will dull that needle, and it hurts the patient. Mm-hmm. These no dead space needles are super, super sharp, and I can do like all the crows and the glabella, and they're still really sharp.
Still really sharp.
So they're nice and sharp.
The green needles will work, or the green syringes will work with the low dead space needles. They work with I used to use the 30 gauge, the 32 gauge needles with the green 1cc. This is, they call it NormJet lure lock into that area, and then this is a 33 gauge low dead space needle. At 33, mine patients are like, oh wow, that poke doesn't hurt. I mean, it's still the toxin that still burns a little, but that definitely is a nice thing.
Greta, you were asking the brand of the cannula. The brand is, I don't know, it's like some Hong Dong or something, but I get it. It's from Dongbang. It's from Korea.
It's a Korean.
But I ordered them through Benev. So the company who is they make the Benev exosomes and the MiraQ thread. So it's called BENEV, and that's where I get these cannulas from. They're good cannulas. They're not too flexible, but they're stiff enough to where I can make them go where I need them to go gently. Mm-hmm. But they work great. So they glide easy. So I stick with these. I stick with them. They're nice. There you go, Greta. Okay. All right. This, you guys, I love, love, love. Okay. So if anybody uses hypochlorous acid, which we use
all of you guys should.
We used to use chlorhexidine, Hibiclens, and that's extremely, we've learned now through the years, it's really caustic to the corneas. People can go blind, even from strong fumes of it. It can really corrode the corneas. So I went away from chlorhexidine and went to hypochlorous acid. Now, if you order it, like Puricin and Luricin, or there's a few different ones, but Puricin's the big one. It's like they're $27, $30 for just a one spray bottle. And you want to use a lot of it to really clean the skin. So there's a company called Echolox Tech. I feel like we need to be like, hi, it dices, slices, minces.
You have to become the salesperson.
I know.
You're a little Vanna White.
Nobody has sponsored us, you guys. I swear to you, we're not getting a penny off of this. Why didn't we contact the companies? Anyway, it's called Echolox Tech. I think this is less than $200. I think
about 200,
somewhere around there. And all you do is put in water up to here, which I've already measured mine. Water with one little scoop. They give you a scooper of plain salt. Okay, that's it. Within about 8 minutes, I've got a whole liter here of hypochlorous acid at 200 parts per million. Mm-hmm. So you have to make sure that you have it at the right parts per million so you're not bleaching them, because it smells like the community pool or the YMCA. But we put this into blue bottles that I got off of Amazon. They're glass blue bottles. Do you have those at your clinic too?
Brown. We get the brown ones, brown or blue.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And those, I put it into those bottles, and it stays at 200 parts per million for about a week in those bottles. And I have windows in my office. Yep. So we test it a couple times a week to make sure we still have the strength we need it.
Just pour it out every week and just remake it.
Would you grab that tester right there? I'll show them the tester. It's a small bottle. Thank you. So I got this off of Amazon. I call it Santazon. And if Santazon doesn't come to my house, my husband thinks he's sick or something. It's so bad. It's so bad. Oh, toothpaste. Anyway, this is called Waterworks Free Chlorine. Okay. And can we go close on this at all? Closer. Not on my lips, not on my wrinkles. Just go closer.
On yours.
Waterworks Free Chlorine. Now, the reason that I picked this one is because I want 200 parts per million, but I can also see if it's too strong or too weak, right? Yep. So I know I want around this 200 parts per million here. Yep. The test strips that the company sends with Echolox Tech, it tells you you're at 200 and that it ends there. And I'm like, what if it's more? So this works really well to test it.
Yes. And Karen, you are right, making sure this is salt without iodine, so plain salt.
No iodine plain. Thank you. Yes.
Yes. Just to emphasize that. You could probably use a filtered water.
I use kosher salt.
Yeah. Kosher salt and then some filtered water.
And when I used filtered water, we used distilled water during COVID because we put these into misters and we would mist the room at a higher percentage. So now we're not doing that. So we're just down to 200 parts per million. And I don't use the filtered anymore because nothing's going to clog in here. So it is what it is. Yeah, it's awesome.
Awesome.
I forgot to bring that out, and that's one of the best things we use all the time.
Actually is the one thing I do talk about. And then that.
Okay.
This is my favorite. Especially for me.
It's got my numbering on it.
Oh, especially getting into the world of regenerative medicine. People always talk about PRP, PRF, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I mean, for me, I think it's something that is not new for me because I actually started playing around with it about 10 years ago.
But it's amazing.
It is amazing.
It's amazing. It has growth factors and it's amazing. And it starts that whole cascade of growth and collagen growth.
No, I don't deny it, but I think that people are not doing it properly as well.
It's not concentrated enough.
We're not getting the concentrations. Remember, PRP by definition is 6 to 8 times concentration, at least 5. So if you're doing a 10 cc draw and you're saying, look, that golden fluid is 4 cc's. Well, 10 divided by 4 is a little bit over 2. So your concentration is 2, which is almost the same as just poking them and blooding them. I mean, this is, the industry has not really come into the thought pattern because when I first started doing it, I actually did use the ortho ones. And the ortho ones, I had to draw 60 cc's just to get like a 10 cc mixture of PRP, and that's what I was using back then. And, from ortho, you're injecting a lot more into knees and joints, so I would inject it kind of all over the face and even to the hair and stuff like that. So I did see some beautiful, beautiful results on it. It's not going to fill anything, so I know people use it as a filler.
We used to think
no filling.
When we first started doing it, we thought it was be like a filler, and we're like, wait, it's not doing anything.
It does zero filling.
Yeah.
It's your own biological liquid.
More texture.
And your body will resorb it, and what you're relying on is the growth factors to change the quality of skin, improve the collagen nature. So I'm not denying that you are going to get improvements in skin quality, but it's not a filler. And so you guys really, really need to understand usefulness of it, how to get your correct amount of PRP so you get the effectiveness of it. But jumping to that is we found something that works to find into really well. It, and so exosomes. This is this is the only company in the country, the world actually, that can actually say exosome on their product. The other companies that are out there on the marketplace cannot. The reason why is Benev actually and their parent company went through the process of actually on the ingredient list, actually applying for it, showing how you got the exosomes and doing the studies behind it to show that it is an ingredient worldwide that is accepted on the worldwide scale for an ingredient in a product. Majority or all of the other products that you hear are stem cells will say it's kind of some derived off of this or derived off of this. It actually does not say exosome on it. So we know that this is an exosome product, and you will not get in trouble with the FDA if you use it as they intend it, which is topical. However, if you decide to use it a little bit off topical, that's your choice. Because you are your own practitioner and you can use off-label things. But exosomes essentially are jumping into that stem cell range. So this is regenerative medicine into that next level. This is going to decrease inflammation. So I use this with my CO2 lasers. I use this with microneedling RF. You find your patients heal up so much faster because what it's doing is it's literally stopping the inflammatory process so much quicker, so much faster that when you control it, your body can start healing right away. And so you see, like when we do microneedling RFs now on my patients, they're barely pink by the time they're walking out the door. 15, 20 minutes later once you're rubbing it on. The studies behind it is showing 600% increase in collagen production, 300% increase in elastin production. Why not? I think there's over 50 to 100 growth factors, so way more than the 8 growth factors that are just in your PRPs. So remember, PRP as well is pro-inflammatory. So if you've ever used it and injected it, use so well. This one, you actually decrease inflammation. It's anti-inflammatory. It's anti-inflammatory. So I use this on my burn victims. So when we have burns in our clinic from laser hair removal, this is part of the protocol now. Slap this on, blah, blah, blah. You can do that. So this is from the
Keep them at home for curling iron burns.
Oh, no, seriously. I mean, this literally, you get a burn, you slap it on, and you're going to be feeling, right?
Like,
I actually just want to slather and do a whole bath in it, right?
Right. They stay in the fridge. I'm just kidding.
I mean, this is where we're starting to get into. I mean, I do play with exosomes. I do regenerative medicine as well. And this is not one product I would inject into the IV. This is something that I would probably just do topically, maybe a little bit of injecting superficially on certain areas. Microneedling, blah, blah, blah is great. But if you're doing regenerative stuff, you need to get much more sterile type of products, and definitely a different range of products when you get into that aspect of it. But they're reasonably cheap. I think if you're buying as packages, talk to Benev, tell them Dr. Kwok and Lori sent you, and you'll get
the QVC of aesthetics team.
Hopefully they'll give you a special discount from us with regards
Tell
to
them we sent you.
But they literally, this stuff probably 120, 130 bucks, I think. Maybe a little around that, between 100 to 150, depending on how you're ordering.
And we only ordered the 5 billion.
Yeah, they come in 2.5 as well as 5 billion. Just jump to 5 billion.
Yeah,
it's literally the difference in price is like $20 or $30.
Yeah, get the 5 billion.
It's not a big deal, but trust me, once you start doing this is the one for me. I use it on myself for microneedling, like a little light microneedling with the exosomes, and I will tell you, my skin has never been better. Never been better.
And speaking of, our next item on QVC Aesthetics is the Curicator. So let's say you have a syringe of exosomes, okay? And we used to PRP, and you drip it on the skin and rub it and drip it on as dripping down the page, right? It's dripping everywhere. So hold that.
Okay.
This Curicator is brand new. It's developed by a dermatologist. And I can't remember her name. I'm so sorry, but she found me on Instagram. I made that. Thank you. So this is called a Curicator. It's hard to see, but I'm going to show you. This device, why didn't I invent this? This device it goes onto a Lure Lock syringe. Where are we? Lure Lock syringe. I screwed it onto a Lure Lock syringe. And I want you to see this come out. So I'm going to push the water out. It's going to be hard. It's kind of hard. With water, it's kind of hard. It comes out like a little shower head. So if you've got a thicker product like PRP, what you're going to do is you're just going to barely squish it out, and it helps smear it all over. So it helps it just kind of put it everywhere rather than, here, turn your hand a little bit. Here you go. Like I'll just push a little bit out, and it helps to kind of just lightly let it spread. So you're not dripping it all over the place. Is that the coolest thing ever?
All right.
Am I putting it ever? Here we go.
Yep.
I love it.
Good.
I love it. So I use this with the exosomes. Exosomes are a little thicker. PRP is a little thinner.
Yep.
But I love that because it's not dripping all over the face, and you have it. It's very, very controlled. You put a little bit on, rub, put a little bit on, rub it in. So that's called the Curicator. We get that from Airtight. We get a lot from Airtight. It's a good company. We're really awesome. So it's just called a Curicator, and this is a box of how many are in here? 20 are in here. And you just use one for whenever you're putting PRP or exosomes on the face. Pretty cool. That just went right there with exosomes. Okay, so, I love this. Do you have anything else in your bag of tricks?
I don't have that many things.
Do you use these? I love this. Okay, this is a needle holder, and I used to think it was like, okay, whatever, I don't know if I'm gonna use it. But let me take this needle off. Okay, so what I do when I am, say, doing threads and throwing stuff all around. Okay, so here I have my needle, okay? I have my needle. When I'm doing threads and when I'm doing treatments, I don't want to recap the needle and risk getting stuck, and I want that needle accessible to me. So I will stick the needle, I'm going to take it off of here, I will stick the needle in this little needle holder. So this sits on my countertop, okay? And when I want to use the needle, say to make a hole for threads, I just pull it out and I can put it right back in here, so it reduces the risk of any puncture. And it's heavy enough to hold down. So I put my 18 gauge needle in here when I'm doing threads, and I take it out, make my portholes, and put it right back in there, and it holds it, it's sterile, and it keeps it nice and clean. So this is by TSK. This is by TSK, and it's a heavy stainless, kind of stainless weighted device. I like it a lot. I have a couple of these and I like them a lot. I use them frequently. This I think I got this from Airtight also. Airtight has a lot of our stuff. Yeah, got that too.
What
Gosh,
else?
we have so much fun. What else is in my bag of tricks? Okay,
thingy.
so
that one's cool.
I have so much fun, you guys. Okay, I'm the device queen, and next on QVC we have a Vortex. So this it says 4Es. This happens to be the brand I got, but it doesn't matter what brand. But this is a Vortex. So when you are mixing your Sculptra or you want to mix your product, I will put the vial down, and it's not plugged in now, but I will push down on the vial and it spins it at about 8,500 RPM. And then I will turn the vial around, because there's usually a rubber stopper with a little notch cut out of it, and I will spin it this way. And I will spin my Sculptra until it gets totally milky and the particles are broken down, and then I can put the rest of my water in there and use it to inject. So this it's called a Vortex. Yes, I got it on Amazon, and Bezos, yes, you can send me commission. Man. Anyway, we need like a stud at QVC. Anyway, I got this on Amazon. It was $50 when I got it. Now it's gone up to $100, I think. So anyway,
inflation.
But it's awesome. It's awesome. You just keep
cool.
Keep it plugged into the wall, and it's so nice to do Sculptra. So if you guys use Sculptra, it's a great little tool.
I don't have one, but I probably should. I just mix it by hand.
Oh, this is. But, you have to get one. It's so good.
But it definitely, I've used it while I'm here at her clinic, and it is fun.
Yeah,
and
I love
easier
it.
to use.
And then the last thing in my toolbox is.
Are we going to break that open?
My nurse gave this to me for my birthday. Thank you, Michelle. It's the cutest little thing.
Yes, that's her favorite. So if you guys want to send her stuff.
Isn't that cute? It's like it's too cute to open. It's a baby. It's just a baby. Anyway, I'm just joking. We'll have it later, okay?
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so besides smelly salts and epi, assuming do you keep a whole stash of crash cart meds? Jennifer's asking if we keep crash cart meds. Oh, we do. We don't know. I do not keep. I don't keep crash cart meds. You know, ambu bag and epi. No, I don't. If there's a problem, it's called 911, and I know CPR, so I'm good. If somebody vasovagals and they have a hypoxic seizure, we'll call paramedics for that. If they've never had something like that happen, while you just make sure you protect them, that they don't fall on the floor, make sure they don't get hurt or hurt themselves. But generally, that's the worst that's going to happen, is somebody ends up, you catch them too late before, and they do faint, and then they have that hypoxic seizure. And it's not that they're dead, epileptic, it's just their brain needs oxygen. Right. And usually they'll wake up just fine, but you just want to make sure their airway is clear, put them on their side, and call somebody into the room that can kind of help you. We have UHF radios, just like they have at, say, Victoria's Secret in our office. All of us wear these radios. And the main reason that we got these radios is for when we're behind a couple doors and we're doing injections and somebody has an issue. They start vasovagaling. And we will get on our radio and say, hey, Eagle is down in Bora Bora. And we'll have somebody, one of our staff will come in and kind of be there with us so somebody doesn't, say, fall off the bed or get hurt. So as far as we do have our vascular occlusion crash cart or crash kit. Important. We have our visual occlusion or visual crash kits. We have those kits pre-made. Mm-hmm. We do have, I have at least 24 to 26 vials of Hylenex in my fridge. Hylenex and crash kits. We have so much stuff. So yeah, have at least 24 to 26 vials of Hylenex in your fridge at all times. No, that's not too much. Yes, that's a cheap insurance policy, and here's why. If you have even a small occlusion, you are going to be using 600 units every 15 minutes. That's a whole box. That's 4 vials every 15 minutes. I've gone to several clinics teaching, and they're like, I go, how much Hylenex do you have? They're like, we have a vial. I'm like, I'm not injecting here, because you can't dissolve anything with a vial. We only have 150 unit vials here in America. In Europe, they have 1,500 unit vials that they mix from powder to liquid. So ours is very dilute. So we need plenty. So please, 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 please get plenty. Did I say please?
Yes.
I said please.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
What else? What questions do we have? Colleen,
Okay.
where do you purchase exosomes? You can reach out to Benev. Benev. And they should be able to help you out. Yeah, mini vortex.
Mini vortex. This vortex,
What else?
the brand of this vortex is called 4E's Scientific. 4 in just letter E, S for scientific. And somebody said they dilute, they reconstitute their Botox or Dysport 1-to-1. If you do it 1-to-1, it's really concentrated. I would stick with your insulin syringe.
Yeah.
I would just stick with that. That's a no loss syringe. It's just dull. Just make excuses for the patient. Like, I don't know how. But yeah, just stick with that.
Really, really
That's very concentrated.
'Cause if you just lose a drop, you've lost $20, $30 right there.
Yeah. Low dead space, are they 0.3 cc? Yeah, no, that's a needle. We're looking at questions here, you guys, sorry.
Go back up. I think we looked at all of those. Up.
Let's see.
Okay.
Any other questions, you guys? Ask us plenty. Ask us them. Is decapping the normal saline? I've never decapped normal saline. I've never decapped it. I've never needed to. I stick this little spigot in there and I'm good to go. So I think I wouldn't want to leave it open. I know it's bacteriostatic that we generally use, but I'm more comfortable keeping a closed system.
Yeah,
So just wipe this off with alcohol wipe and you're good.
Yeah. This is, that's golden, especially.
It's awesome.
We use multi-use vials and stuff like that. Sticking 18 gauges, you're just constantly sticking in, you ruin it on that aspect of it. Do we do a Hylenex or Pure? That's going to be up to you. You can do both. I don't think it matters as much. The whole goal is you're trying to get Hylenex into the area. So that's kind of the goal with the Hylenex. Flood the area below, on top, all over in that aspect.
Yeah, if you're just dissolving, say, lip migration or something, I will mix a little bit of lidocaine with it, plain lidocaine, and I will mix a little bit of saline with it, just to give me more spread. So think of more volume equals more spread. You don't want to water it down too much, but I might do 1 cc of Hylenex with maybe a 0.3 of normal saline and a 0.2 of lidocaine, or even less than that, just to give me more spread, just a little bit. But make sure you add lidocaine with it, just some plain lidocaine. And I ice first. I give them ice. I have these ice sticks. I forgot that too. It's called an ice stick, and I get that from Airtight too. It's this frozen stick that's got stainless steel top, and I keep it in the freezer, and it is freezing cold. So you have to take it out and kind of touch it a little bit, so it's not like the tongue on the frozen thing. Just kind of warm it up a little bit, and then ice their lip, and then when you do a cannula, it does not hurt them to do Hylenex, which usually it hurts.
All right. So.
Oh my gosh, we just talked the whole time, you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If there's any other comments or
have any questions, reach out, ask us, DM her. DM her.
I'll be drinking my... No, DM him. Nobody ever DMs Gideon. So DM Gideon.
We'll answer your questions as we come along.
It's okay.
What else do we have? We have actually a contest.
Woo!
You want to tell them
No,
more?
you can.
All right. So our contest will actually get a ticket, a free registration to Aesthetic Next 4.0. That's going to be in Dallas. We're going to be there, so come say hi. It's going to be from September 8th through September 11th. It's going to be at the Omni Hotel in Dallas, so you will get registration.
A ticket.
Unfortunately, there's no cash value to it, and we don't provide the accommodation.
We don't pay for the flight or the hotel, just saying. But it's
we'll
hundreds of dollars for a ticket.
$600-$700.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah. And it's like for 4 days of lecture. So
great lectures. So what you got to do to enter this is follow us at the Aesthetic Immersion on Instagram. Comment with the city and state that you practiced in, and then tag a fellow provider that you'd like to meet at the conference. So hopefully you and your friend go. The lucky winner will receive the 1 ticket to the Aesthetic Next conference, and this contest starts today or tomorrow. 8/2. It's today.
So today.
Yes. Starts today, and it goes to August 16th. And the winner will be announced on our IG on August 17th, the next day. So make sure you join, register, and follow the whole thing. I think this will be on our IG page on how to join the contest
on the aesthetic immersion page. Yeah.
Perfect.
So just next time, don't miss out on our next AI Live. It is going to be on August 30th.
So
and
not the beginning, not in September.
It's going to be early, a week early.
The Aesthetic Next conference. That's the reason why. So we're going to push it the week earlier. So it's going to be August 30th, on Tuesday, same time.
And it's going to be what all of us hate. And it's going to be navigating difficult patient conversations. Wow, we've all had those. Wow, we've had those. So we're going to want you to get online and text us some of the fun ones. This is going to be fun. So email learn@theaestheticimmersion.com or DM us on IG or at the Aesthetic Immersion for any questions. Feel free to ask any questions, and we'll see you at the next AI Live on August 30th or at Aesthetic Next after that.
Yep, Aesthetic Next. One thing to just remember, this is recorded, so it will go up on our YouTube page at the Aesthetic Immersion. So follow us on YouTube. And so what else do we have? Oh, this is also on, I guess we have a podcast. So streams onto Apple Podcasts and Amazon Music on Friday. So it'll be up on YouTube and it will be up on a podcast for Apple and Amazon on Friday. So if you missed it or missed a portion of it or want to go back and figure out what other things you want to purchase from our QVC store here.
QVC Aesthetics. I'm just thinking that the show was so visual. Go ahead and try to watch the podcast or listen to the podcast while you're driving, and I want you to try to figure out what we're talking about. That's all.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. We will see you guys August 30th for the next AI Live.
Take care, you guys. Thanks for watching.